Hurricane Idalia making landfall in Florida as a Category 3 storm. The storm now churning through the southeast as a Category 1 hurricane. In Florida, streets from Tampa to Tallahassee, that's a 200-mile stretch there, are facing floodwaters, and power has been knocked out for 400,000 customers across Florida and Georgia. Joining us now is Tallahassee Mayor John Dailey. Mayor, it's good to talk to you today. Just give me an update here on what you are seeing on the ground right now.
Well, first of all, thanks for having me on. I certainly do appreciate it. We are in full recovery mode. As soon as the storm moved out, of course, we sent our first responders out first and foremost to check on the citizens to make sure everyone is safe and healthy and survived the storm event itself. And then we immediately sent our utility crews out. So before the storm, we planned in advance and we called in our mutual aid agreements from all over the United States of America. We tripled the size of our electric workforce, knowing that we were going to have damage to our electric infrastructure. And sure enough, we did. And so as soon as possible, they are out there and they are returning power to the city of Tallahassee. About 1/3 of our customer base lost power. And the great men and women of Tallahassee and our mutual aid agreements, they are out there right now trying to put the power back together.
Mayor, thanks so much for taking the time. Certainly seems like there is still, though, a lot of damage when you talk about the destruction that you are seeing, the number of downed trees within the area. What's the extent of that damage relative to what you were bracing for heading into this storm?
Well, I do think that we got a little lucky. When at 6:30 this morning, we're sitting in the EOC. We thought that we had a Category 5 hurricane, and as predicted by the National Weather Service, was going to be the largest and strongest storm to hit the Big Bend area of Florida, including Tallahassee. And while that is still true for the rest of the Big Bend, Tallahassee did not take the brunt. Once it hit landfall, as we all know now, it went due east. And so we got caught up in high winds, but we did not get caught up in particular in the Category 1 hurricane winds. But as a result, we do have a lot of trees down. We do have a lot of damage to our electric infrastructure. Tallahassee is known as a tree city. 55% of our community is under a tree canopy. And as you can imagine, high winds, power lines, and trees do not mix. So as a result, we did have a lot of damage, and our crews are out there cleaning it up right now, cleaning out the streets, restoring the power. And I'm real honored and proud to work with them. They're great people.
Yeah, Mayor, it feels like we've all gotten to know the Big Bend region over the last several days as we followed this hurricane and its path. Give us a sense of the extent of this storm. I mean, when you think about the weather patterns in your region, yes, it didn't land at the scale that we thought it would, at the intensity that we thought it would. But, I mean, how significant is this in the grand scheme of things in a state that has seen, quite frankly, a lot of hurricanes?
Well, it's significant and it impacts different communities in different ways. For instance, city of Tallahassee, we're an inland community. So while we did not necessarily have the concerns of the storm surge directly impacting the city of Tallahassee, of course, we were concerned with flooding in low-lying areas. However, I talked to my colleagues, mayors of the coastal communities, and they're dealing with a whole nother set of challenges. And, we send our thoughts and prayers to their communities as well as they're dealing with the rising waters and how it's impacting their community. For us, it's a wind event, and we are more impacted by high winds and how it impacts our infrastructure. But you're absolutely correct. It is a high intensity impact to the state of Florida, to the Gulf Coast. I think it still stands as predicted by the National Weather Service yesterday as being the largest storm in the history of the Big Bend area. Again, Tallahassee was not directly hit. We got lucky, but it has caused a lot of damage across the area.
Mayor, what's your message to residents right now?
That's a great question. So if you walk outside right now, it's actually a beautiful afternoon in Tallahassee, but we are still highly encouraging all the residents, stay inside, check on your friends and family, check on your neighbors, but we still have a lot of work to do. We have a lot of roads that are still blocked. We got trees down everywhere. We got power lines down everywhere. We need to make sure that we have a safe community in an environment that allows our utility workers to go out and do their job. Let the professionals hook the electricity back up, and let's give them the day. Let's don't get out on the road and check out the rest of the community. Shelter at home still for the rest of the afternoon and evening, and let the professionals do their job.
And Mayor, I realize you're still in assessment mode right now. You've got some busy days ahead of you, but talk to me about how you're thinking about moving forward beyond this in terms of the recovery, the next steps, the most immediate concerns beyond the power outages you've already hit on.
Well, we always do a complete assessment. I'm real proud of the leadership of our city manager, Reese Goad, and the teams. We are the largest utility provider in the region. We're a municipality of 200,000, 300,000, including the unincorporated area, with a population of 70,000 on our college campuses. We are the largest utility provider. We planned well in advance. Our stormwater system worked, our water system worked, and we've had some damages to our electrical system. So we have work to do. Now, after every storm, we do a post-storm assessment. What worked? What didn't work? What do we need to work on? How do we change the plans? Because truth be told, as you know, this is the last week of August. We are in the height of hurricane season. And unfortunately, those of us that live in Florida and along the Gulf Coast know very well we could be right back here a week from now, 2 weeks from now, a month from now. We can't predict what Mother Nature is going to do. So it's important that we learn from every storm event that comes through. We celebrate our victories and what worked, and we make sure that we double down and continue to do that. But if we need to make modifications and changes to the plan, we'll do so, because we know that there will be another storm event heading our way in not too distant future.
Mayor Dailey, we know you have long days, weeks potentially ahead of you. Thanks so much for taking the time. We wish you all the best.
Thank you.